Somerset moved ahead of their opponent Surrey on the second day of their LV County Championship match at the Kia Oval, where Steve Davis was the latest man to blast 100. Somerset had raced along to 441 for 5 on the first day, but suddenly lost wickets at the start of the second. To the third ball of the morning, Peter Trigo edged Stuart Meeker to Tom Maynard to depart for 21. Night watchman George Dockrell and Craig Macheda did add 26 to take that total to 471. Then Dockrell nicked off to John Lewis on 11. 5 balls later, Macheda, having reached 13, gave Gareth Batty an easy slip catch. And 3 balls after that, Meeker induced another edge to see the back of Vernon Philander for 1. Somerset had slipped a little to 474 for 9, and we were then treated to the very rare sight of 2 18-year-old twins at the crease in Craig and debutant Jamie Overton. I think this was Jamie hitting Xander de Brain for 4. On debut, Jamie hit 34 off 35 balls to take his side to 512 for 9, Somerset's highest ever score at the Oval, before James Hildreth declared to give his side a 25-minute blast before lunch. A good decision, as Jamie then bowled the very experienced Jack Rudolph with his 5th ball in the first-class game. Jason Roy in for the dropped Mark Ramprakash, and Davis then took their side through to the break with no further losses. Philander was expensive in his short spell, and that set up the afternoon session, which looked as if it was going to be dominated by the home side. Both Davis and Roy played with plenty of freedom, as have most in this match up until this point. This pair raced the total along to 66 in only 10 overs. Roy, though, then played 1 shot too many and was bounced out by Philander. Macheda misjudged the catch in the deep, but then held on in spectacular style, as you can tell from his teammates' reaction. Roy was out for 28, made off only 23 balls, while Davis then completed his 50 at a run a ball. 7 times he'd smashed the ball to the ropes. Somerset's young attack had made a reasonable start, but then they were taken to task somewhat by Davis and de Brain, who appeared to be matching what Somerset's batsmen had done, almost shot for shot. The score was rattling along at 5 runs per over. Davis wasted no time in reaching his first 100 of the summer. He got there with a nudge off Arul Sapaya, the 113th ball he'd faced. It was a thrilling innings from the reserve England keeper, and it had kept his side in this game. De Brain also looked in excellent touch, and his own 50 soon followed with his 8th boundary. This pair had added 122 in 29 overs to take the total to 188. But then Somerset came bouncing back once Dockrell had Davis easily taken by Alex Barrow at short leg for 104. Philander, having gone to the other end from where he bowled his opening spell, then found the edge of de Brain's bat in the next over, the former Somerset man being held by Hildreth on 52. The South African then trapped Rory Hamilton-Brown in front for a second ball duck to lead Surrey on the back foot on 193 for 5, 319 runs behind. 3 wickets had suddenly fallen in 18 balls straight after tea. Chris Jordan's reaction to this sudden slip was to swat Philander for a 6. It was like fighting fire with fire. Maynard seems to know no other way to play. He smashed a 102-ball century in his last knock in Worcester before going on to record a career-best 143, and he once more looked in fantastic form as he took on Philander, who was still expensive in spite of his wickets. But Somerset was still well on top when Trigo had Jordan caught in the deep off another pull shot. Philander the man to hold on this time as Jordan went for 8. So now Surrey were on 227 for 6, still needing 136 more runs to avoid the follow-on, something they had to do in their last match. Somerset would have been confident of enforcing that, even though Maynard was still playing some thunderous shots. His 50 came off 84 deliveries, certainly not his quickest, but a very effective innings all the same. That was his 5th 4 to go with that maximum. He'd set himself up nicely for a second successive century, which will also probably be enough to ensure that Somerset bat again next. By the close, Surrey were still 77 runs away from achieving that, but have Maynard still there on 63. With him is Batty, who's made 18 in a 7th wicket stand, thus far worth 59 runs. The first hour of day 3 is going to be crucial.